Hey Mitchell, it's me, Brandon. This is my week 4 update to you. Things with the toy have been progressing pretty nicely, I feel, since we last talked on Wednesday. And where we left was that the PVC idea needed to change a little bit. We needed to get a better we needed to get a better rod and a better connector because the magnets were too weak, and that the toy needed to, be as large as it was, maybe a little bit bigger. So, what I started off as, I started looking into getting some temp holes, and what I found was I found the replacement kits for them, and they're okay. They're a little too they're really short, and I wasn't super happy. I did like the connector we had, which was just a basic metal tube with just a little dent on it. I thought that was really clever to have that as just the piece that stops it. I thought that was really good. And I started thinking about ways to maybe have these things held in by tension alone, instead of necessarily like an adhesive thing. So I looked up what these were made of, and I found out they're made of fiberglass. They're fiberglass rods, and so I went to Lowe's. I was looking around, and at first they showed me a few that were used for like chimney sweeps and stuff like that, but I think they were like $8 for one, so really expensive. But then I went down the sign aisle and I found these orange ones. Now these orange ones have a nice bend to them. They're fiberglass rods. You can feel the tension in them, but it doesn't take a whole lot of strength to bend them. You do feel it though, and so I was really impressed to find these, and they're super cheap. They're like $2 for one of them. It might have been a little bit less than 2. So I bought a ton of these, and because these have a longer length, I felt that I could increase the size of my surfaces, and I like it at 4 feet by 4 feet now. The sheer size of it has a lot of possibilities, where before it was still almost toy scale, as in still feeling miniature. Now it's starting to feel like a real world building kind of thing. So I'm really excited about that. Next issue I came to was the replacement for the magnets. And when we talked, we were, I was going down the road of something like the way something Tinker Toys used, where they had like the node with stuff holes drilled in that you could then pop it into, and you could have multiple ones poked in, and it would be some kind of, some wooden piece maybe. And so I went to, and while we were at Lowe's, I was looking around, and we were trying to find anything that would work. First, I tried some nylon sleeves to kind of make a tube similar to the camping one. We looked at metal, we looked at rubber, and we found these like rubber stoppers. The rubber stoppers were interesting because they were really solid, and they were very, you could imagine maybe drilling into them and having that friction and tension hold the pieces together. But then I was thinking, the stopper is an awkward shape. It doesn't really make a really nice form to end on for these constructive pieces. And I was thinking, if I could just have something spherical, something like a rubber ball, and suddenly that's what I started looking for, were toy rubber balls. I visited several different shops around Ames, Party Store. We went to Target, Walmart. Ended up in Dollar General, and we found several different kinds. So the two that I'm really excited about right now are this one right here is it's a little bit more squishy, but it does have some more flex to it, which could add to the kind of flexible folding thing that I'm going for. But then we have these black ones, and these are the super bouncy balls. I really wish I could have found the ones I used to play with as a kid, which were like zebra and tie-dye and checkered and all these really funky colors and swirls and stuff. And I really like those. But unfortunately, I cannot find a single retailer in Ames right now that seems to carry the really funky kind. So this is the makeup though of what I was looking for. Now these are solid black, and so maybe I can do some painting on them, or like quickly like dunk them in some kind of paint after I drill holes into them. But it's really solid. You know, these things fit nicely onto them. Gives it kind of a weight that I really like. They feel it bounces really nicely, and I like it a little bit better than this one, because this one just feels a little too squishy. Feels like it may not be as reliable. If you have time, if you can respond to this before Monday, I'd like to get your opinion on the connector. Currently, I'm definitely I'm thinking these black ones because they are so solid and will provide good structural support for my toy. But if you have any, if you feel, but I do see the benefit of having something colorful, and I don't know, I might just try, see what happens when I have the squishy one, and see what happens. But if you have any opinion, I'd like to hear from you. But otherwise, from now on, it's just going to be, I'm going to finish sewing up my surfaces tonight and tomorrow, and by Sunday I should be able to make my movie. So yeah, this is my update. Hope things are good with you, and we'll talk to you next week.